As the wheels of time turn, ages come and go, and in their passing all that once flourished and was familiar gives way to that which is fresh, new, and unfathomable, until eventually that too becomes familiar and then forgotten, as the cycle continues and the age turns again. However, there are those here among us who have not forgotten. And now, in our time of great need, they are uniting to raise their voices for those who would hear, to remind us that we, when unified, have the power to shape our destiny. Earth's ancient cultures, these keepers of wisdom, truth, and time, remember well our oneness with the earth, the self, and all, and are sharing their stories in hopes that humanity will demonstrate its love and receive the blessings that come with the shifting of an age. For to date, much that mankind has created in its quest for advancement has been forged from the fires of fear and forgetfulness. Yet today, there are those who are heeding the wisdom of the ages and the understanding that true happiness can only be realized by contributing to the health and happiness of the earth and others. Thus, in accordance with universal law, humanity is presently being afforded the opportunity to demonstrate its love through its willingness to learn from its past. For though we have neglected the teachings of our ancient elders and have thus brought our earth to its present state of immediate crisis, we are once again invited to learn what we may from the ancient ways. This wisdom is offered to all who will hear, through the means by which it was preserved for thousands of years. Thus it is through the stories and prophecies of these ancient nations that humanity is urged to awaken and to remember that it is our collective belief that shapes this reality. For not all prophecies exist to tell us what is to be, but rather they tell us what we need to hear in order to inspire us to do what we know we must. Thus, if a prophecy may be viewed as a projected outcome based on the preceding trend of events, then it may be realized that the instant we respond to the prophecies of our elders by doing what we have never done before, we immediately alter the probability line of our future and effectively begin creating a new reality. And so we return to humanity's choice. Will we continue to live for and exalt the self, and thereby drive the self-destructive system toward popular media's projected outcome? Or will we choose to alter our course by uniting and supporting each other in creating a new, harmonious way of being out of love for the earth and all living things? For now, more than ever in our recorded history, as we experience the turning of an age, we are responsible for what we experience. And this truth may be seen through the proper understanding of the wisdom that is gifted to us through the prophecies. Among our spiritual elders, there are many stories which speak of our current times and offer guidance to assist us during the turning of the age. Included in this vast pool of wisdom, some of the most widely known and misunderstood stories are those of the Mayans and the prophecies of 2012. For the treatment of December 21st, 2012 by our popular media has led many to wrongfully believe that this day has been predicted as the end of the world. Thus, such ill-informed assertions, when coupled with the increasing intensity of our world's current environmental, economic, and socio-political crises, have served to create a sense of helplessness in the hearts of humanity. This illusion of helplessness is now presenting itself as a great threat, as many amongst humanity who feel powerless and overwhelmed by the increasing intensity of our global crises are hiding from their worries, subconscious or otherwise, in the distractions of self, addiction, and entertainment. And so, as our current self-destructive system demonstrates its resolve to continue its course and shows the world its willingness to lay waste to the oceans, humanity's party continues, as those who are either unwilling or who believe they are incapable, wait for salvation to come in the form of a technological miracle or Messiah. And here it is essential to understand that no matter how holy the image may appear, sitting idly by as we destroy our planet, and then getting whisked away in a spaceship or flaming horse-drawn chariot amidst light and fanfare is not redemption, nor is it salvation. For those willing to search their hearts will know that waiting for someone else to do what we know we must is not a demonstration of love, but rather it is one of fear, and it is love, not fear, that lights the path to salvation. Thus is the great risk of humanity, for it is a contaminating and very narrow belief amongst many today that humanity is helpless and that nothing special need be done, as all grace will be bestowed in good time without the need to make any effort whatsoever. Here it must be understood that this idea is absolutely untrue. For the universal law of free will has been instilled to give each person the opportunity to demonstrate their love through genuine collaborative selfless service, so that in doing so they may raise their consciousness and vibratory rate to the necessary level that they may make a successful transition into the new world. Thus it may be realized that salvation is not something that can be given or received, for indeed it must be chosen. And so with humble hearts we encourage you to let love and fear be the meters by which you make your choices, now and in the coming days of the turning of the age. Ask yourself, is it love or fear that keeps us silent and idle while the planet is abused? Is it love or fear that would drive us onto a spaceship or in search of a Messiah? Is it love or fear that inspires us to do what we can to help the earth and all living things? Thus, by choosing love, one may ensure that in each moment their heart's weight, when measured, will be lighter than a feather. For years, popular media has wrongfully insinuated that the Mayan December 21, 2012 date predicts the end of the world. This assertion has been based on the fact that on that day we will see the convergent completion of 9 of the Mayans' 24 calendars, including what the grandfathers call a return to the beginning of the great 26,000-year-long count calendar. To say that these completions mean the end of the world would be as erroneous as proclaiming doom every New Year's Eve. For these are huge wheels of time that turn, and like our current calendar, when its 12-month cycle is completed, it simply begins again. That said, the completion of the long count calendar is a unique event, and one which will bring with it not the end of the world, but the birth of a new reality. And it is through the proper understanding of the cosmic events that accompany the completion of these great cycles that one may learn how we will be empowered to heal the planet and to co-create a new world of peace and harmony together. The long count calendar is based on a 26,000-year cycle known as the precession of the equinox. This cycle measures the time that it takes for our Earth, which spins at an angle like a top, to complete one full rotation of its wobble. And it is this wobble that causes our view of the constellations to shift by 1 degree every 72 years, creating what are known as the astrological ages. Thus, as a result of this gradual changing of our night sky, the event that we will witness at the end of the long count calendar on December 21st, 2012, is that when the sun rises on the eastern horizon, it will appear to have moved into the center of our galactic plane. Though approximations of this alignment have been occurring once a year since 1980, with an exact alignment in 1998, 2012 will mark the first time in 26,000 years that the sun will appear to touch what is known as the dark rift that snakes its way along the galactic equator. The dark rift is a series of overlapping non-luminous molecular dust clouds that appear as a dark lane that divides the bright band of the Milky Way lengthwise. According to Mayan cosmology, this great rift with which the Sun will align on December 21, 2012, and take some 20 years to travel through, is a unique area of our night sky, which the Mayans believe is responsible for bringing spiritual rebirth. As a result of this extraordinary alignment, the Sun and the plane of the ecliptic would then appear for the first time in 26,000 years to cross between the dark rift and an area of the galactic plane known as the Mayan sacred tree. This cosmic cross, traced in the sky, is considered to embody the sacred tree of life and is known to all of the world's spiritual traditions. This synchronistic return of the tree of life at the time that the Sun aligns with the dark rift marks the return to the beginning of the long count calendar and the birth of a new humanity.
I am ready for the next step in humanity's evolution.
And now we must seek to unite with others.
The time has come to live for each other.
So how would our Sun's alignment with the dark rift result in the birth of a new humanity and its ability to co-create a new reality? The answer to this may be realized by gaining a proper understanding of how increasing vibratory rates are related to the transformation of matter into subtler states of being, as seen with water. For when one raises the vibratory rate of ice molecules by applying heat, the ice changes state into that of water. A further increase of frequency results in a further metamorphosis from liquid into gas. Thus we may see the relationship between increasing vibratory rate and a decreased solidity of state, as well as increased temperature. Such is the present phenomenon that is occurring as we experience the quickening here on Earth. For it is because of our increasing frequency that the Earth, along with nearly every other planet in our solar system, is experiencing a dramatic increase in average temperature. Yet even more fascinating is the fact that our increasing vibratory rate is resulting in a marked decrease in the solidity or rigidity of our existence. That is to say that our reality is becoming more malleable to our thoughts, which create it. This fact, which echoes the teachings of ancient spiritual masters such as Gautama the Buddha, who said this world is the creation of our minds, is becoming increasingly clear as modern science has recently noted a significant increase in the efficacy of the placebo effect, as observed in pharmaceutical studies. In these studies, scientists are discovering, much to their wonder, that now more than ever, our belief that a pill is effective actually has the power to make it so. And here it is essential to understand that our increasing frequency, along with our ability to shape reality, are only being experienced at a fraction of what will occur in the coming months and years leading up to and beyond the shift. For the Mayans believe that sometime around December 21st, 2012, our Sun, which acts like a lens, translating rays from the cosmos and then radiating them onto the planets in our system, will align with a sacred portal hidden in the darkness of the Great Rift. At the time of alignment, our Sun will radiate the ultra-high frequency rays from the rift onto the Earth, affording every human being the opportunity to create and therefore experience their own version of reality. And here it is essential to understand that each person's experience of events will be determined by what they believe is possible. And this belief will be determined by the probabilities that each individual creates through their actions. For it would be difficult to believe that we might achieve a healthy and harmonious existence if no steps were taken towards realizing it. Thus, the great risk that faces humanity on the cusp of the turning of the age is that as our seemingly helpless situation becomes more pronounced in the rising intensity of the approaching period known as the definition, those who have not taken steps towards creating their own belief of how we may harmoniously transition through the shift are in very real danger of sharing the mass consciousness's experience of events and the cataclysmic end of the world as portrayed by our popular media. However, for those who are willing to heed the wisdom of those who remember, and to seek others who are willing to unite and to co-create new possibilities for a harmonious future, the turning of the age represents the greatest opportunity for collective healing and co-creation that humanity has ever known. The turning of the age brings with it new and adjusted laws for the spiritual progress of mankind. And where the Piscean age, which is now drawing to a close, hailed the power of one, with the rising impact of prominent individuals such as Jesus, Muhammad, and Gandhi, the new Aquarian age will be distinguished by an adjusted experience of reality co-created by the power of many, acting as one. And here it is important to carefully consider the three essential truths of our times, which reveal the means by which humanity may demonstrate its love for the earth and all living things, by uniting and liberating itself from its dependency on our current self-destructive system. Those three truths are: number one, we, through our current motivation of self-gain, wanting more money, more pleasure, and more prestige, are the only engines driving our current system, and therefore we hold the power to stop it. Number two, our current system of self-service is unsustainable and is presently leading us on a path of inevitable destruction. Number three, the only way that we may divert our current course is to unite and thereby lend each other the necessary support to make the switch from living for the self to living for the peace and harmony of all. Thus we may see that we are anything but helpless. There is something we can do. We can unite. And when we do, we will demonstrate to the earth our love and willingness to step out of our bounds of comfort in service of something other than ourselves. In so doing, we will then attract assistance from divine forces on the hidden side of life, who are forbidden to intervene until such a demonstration is made on the part of humanity. This collective act of courage and compassion will engage the universal law of synergy, as the potency of our genuine selfless service will, with divine assistance, dispel the accumulated darkness of ages past, overcoming global fear, negativity, and disease. And thus our vibratory frequency will be raised to a sufficient level that we may harmonize with the incoming rays of the dark rift, allowing us to remain with the earth as she makes her transition into the new world. And so this is our humble call. We encourage all who are willing to do what you can to lessen your impact on the planet, to alleviate your dependency on our current system by reaching out to other like-minded groups and individuals in your area, and then asking yourselves what you can do to help each other help the world. Consider what it takes to create a harmonious community that will allow you to lessen your dependency on a system that has proven itself to be both unsustainable and uncaring. Know your spiritual elders, your builders and gardeners. Who are your healers, new educators, and new economists? For now is the time, as we approach the increasing intensity of the definition, which is said to begin this September, to seek those who believe and who are willing to co-create a new way of being out of love for the earth and all living things. With this awareness, we encourage you to infuse your lives, your work, and your relationships with truth and purpose. And as we unite, our belief will be inspired and added to that of those around the world who are doing the same. And together, we will co-create a new world of peace and harmony for all. Have faith, for we are awakening as one.